1815, England was bankrupt. Completely, utterly bankrupt. National debt had spiraled to twice the entire wealth of the nation. Not just government assets, but every ship, factory, and acre of farmland. Double that, and you had England's debt. Taxes were insufficient. The military had gone unpaid for months. The Crown was actively considering mortgaging Windsor Castle itself as collateral for emergency loans. And right at that moment, a man came to the heart of London, Nathan Rothschild, an immigrant from Germany, Jewish, a banker. And he possessed one piece of information that would change everything. Napoleon had been crushed at Waterloo. He knew this before the king, before the army, even before Wellington himself. His private courier network had reached London from Ostende in 48 hours. The official courier was still on the muddy roads of Belgium. Rothschild had 24 hours of exclusive knowledge, and in those 24 hours, he effectively bought England. This video doesn't tell how Napoleon lost. That story had been told 1,000 times. This video tells how England won. And more importantly, how it is still winning today. Because here's the truth. Wars are not won by weapons, but by bonds. The Continental system, the mathematics of madness. Napoleon had conquered nearly all of Europe, but one country remained untouchable, England. He had lost the seas irrevocably at Trafalgar in 1805. Invasion was impossible. So Napoleon turned to economic warfare. He would destroy England through economics, or so he thought. The Continental system, decreed in November 1806, was history's first true economic declaration of war. The logic seemed flawless. Europe would cease all trade with England, a total embargo on British goods. Without European markets, the British economy would collapse. But Napoleon hadn't calculated England's unprecedented power to borrow. The Continental system didn't destroy England, it collapsed Napoleon's own empire. Italy's silk industry vanished. Holland's great ports fell silent and rotted. Russia became economically paralyzed. Smuggling exploded. Corruption became endemic, and loyalty to Napoleon evaporated. Napoleon had condemned his own allies to starvation, and his biggest mistake? Declaring war on Russia in 1812 when the Tsar abandoned the Continental system, because the Russian state could not survive without English money, credit, and manufactured goods. 1812. Napoleon's Russian disaster. 600,000 soldiers marched into the Russian winter. 30,000 returned. But the real defeat didn't happen in Moscow. It happened in the counting houses of London. The debt machine. England's weapon. 1797. The Bank of England stopped gold payments. Technically, it had gone bankrupt. But there wasn't disaster, it was strategy. England was financing the entire war through debt. 22 years. 1.6 billion pounds. 3 times the annual national income. A normal country would have collapsed. But England wasn't normal. England had 3 revolutionary weapons that Napoleon could neither understand nor replicate. 1. Income tax. Invented in 1799 by William Pitt. The rich would pay according to their income, funding the war directly. Meanwhile, France's tax system, destroyed by the Revolution, had completely collapsed. Napoleon had to fund his state through plunder. 2. Consol bonds, the 3% consols. Perpetual debt never needing repayment, only service. England didn't say, "I cannot pay." It said, "Trust me." And the world trusted. Dutch bankers, French émigrés, wealthy Americans, they all bought English debt. It was the safest bet in a dangerous world. 3. The Bank of England itself. Paper money backed not by gold, but by national credit. Yes, there was inflation, but the war was won. The fleet was built. The armies were supplied. Napoleon? He couldn't borrow. The revolution had destroyed France's credit. The assignats had hyperinflated into worthlessness. No foreign investor trusted French debt. Napoleon had to collect taxes immediately, brutally, from occupied territories. Napoleon won battles through taxes extracted at bayonet point. England won wars through debt mobilized through global market confidence. And debt was stronger. Waterloo, 24 hours, June 18th, 1815. Waterloo. Wellington's victory. Europe's fate transformed. But Wellington wasn't the one who truly won this war. While the cannon still smoked on Belgian fields, Rothschild's courier, using the legendary Thurn and Taxis postal system, reached London 24 hours before the official messenger. The news was coded, secret, priceless. Napoleon was defeated. What did Rothschild do? He sold. Deliberately, theatrically, with a face grim with apparent despair, he began selling all his British government bonds. He sold as if England had lost, as if Wellington had been crushed, as if Napoleon was marching on London. Other traders, watching Rothschild panic, followed like sheep. England lost, they thought. Everyone sold. Prices crashed. And at that precise moment, when prices touched bottom, Rothschild's agents began buying everything. Silently, steadily, they accumulated vast fortunes in British debt at rock-bottom prices. 24 hours later, official news arrived: victory. Wellington had won. Bond prices soared. And Rothschild, he earned in modern purchasing power over $100 million in a single night. But money wasn't the real prize. Control was. By 1820, through careful management of post-war reconstruction loans, the Rothschild family effectively controlled the national debts of England, France, Austria, Prussia, and Russia. They held Europe's purse strings. They could make or break governments. Napoleon lost the war on the battlefield, but Rothschild won the peace at the counting house. Conclusion. The birth of the modern world. Post-1815. England emerged as the world's most indebted country. The numbers were staggering. But England was simultaneously the world's most powerful nation, ruler of the seas, center of global trade, heart of a growing empire. How? Because debt, properly managed, was power. England's massive debt had tied investors worldwide to its survival. Dutch bankers, German princes, American merchants, they all held British paper. If England collapsed, they would be ruined. Keeping England strong was in everyone's interest. And England used this debt to finance the Industrial Revolution. Railways, factories, ships, empire. Napoleon's continental system failed completely. But England's global system, free trade, naval supremacy, London-centered finance, succeeded beyond imagination. Free trade, where British manufactured goods dominated world markets. The gold standard, where the pound became the global reserve currency. London-centered finance, where the city became the world's banker. This system, born in the Napoleonic Wars, still operates today. Look at the modern world. U.S. debt is 120% of GDP. Japan's exceeds 250%. And these remain the world's strongest economies. China has built its growth on massive state-directed lending. Europe functions through complex debt mechanisms, because debt isn't just debt. It's a control mechanism. It's a power tool. It's the fundamental architecture of modern capitalism. CTA. Who are you? 2008. The financial crisis hit. Central banks responded by blowing up their balance sheets, trillions in quantitative easing. 2020. The pandemic arrived. Even more debt. Deficits exploded. Debt to GDP ratios reached wartime levels. 2024. Records are being shattered every quarter. In Napoleon's time, 200% debt ratio meant catastrophe. Today, it's business as usual. But the system remains identical. The country that can borrow freely, that maintains market confidence, that controls its own currency, that country is powerful. The country that cannot borrow collapses regardless of military strength. And the lenders, the creditors, they are the real power holders. Rothschild's descendants remain at the center of global finance. Communication networks are now fiber optics and quantum encryption. But the principle is identical. Information comes first. Money follows. So who are you in this game? Are you the lender, collecting interest and exercising influence? Are you the borrower, leveraging debt for growth? Or are you the taxpayer, funding this architecture through your labor while others make the real decisions? Write in the comments. Subscribe for more. Until next time. Don't chase your money. Follow who has it. Follow who controls it. Because that is where the real power has always been.